What's up?
Welcome to White Boys Talk Hoops.
My name is Kory.
I'm Ian, and it's playoff season, baby.
It is. The playoffs have been super, super fun. How many
Oh,
teams are eliminated right now?
real
Two,
quick.
three?
Celtics in 4.
Celtics did one. I will give them the benefit of the doubt. I have been trashing
We
on them.
sweat them boys.
I have been
Y'all was
trashing
not
on
ready.
them quite a bit, but they're doing very well. I will give them
Celtics
their
in
props.
4.
Celtics in four.
So Celtics 1-4. Bucks 1-5.
Heat 1-5.
Heat 1-5. And I think that's
right?
it.
No, Warriors 1-5 too.
Oh, Warriors won last night. Okay, I fell asleep before the game was over, so I didn't know.
I watched the end of it this morning. I was going through the NBA's YouTube channel, and throughout the playoffs, they have the final moments from the close games, like the final couple minutes. I watched through all those. It was pretty much Jokic just trying his heart out to just will to win and work. Steph Curry did Steph Curry things.
Got you.
But what are we doing this week? What are we doing?
So, with it being, we don't want to come in and just talk about every series every week. We want to make it more entertaining. So, we're going to do our top 10 players from round 1.
Right. Sort of like a playoff MVP race.
Sort of. These lists are not the same because we haven't even talked about, outside of a few seconds before we started recording, we haven't talked to each other about our list whatsoever. I'm going to clean off my camera real quick. So why don't you kick us off with your number 10?
My number 10 is Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards? Okay.
Anthony Edwards.
He was in my... I have 5 honorable mentions. He was one of them.
Okay. I have Ant-Man at 10 because the Timberwolves Grizzlies series has been an insane series, an insanely fun, exciting series so far. Grizzlies won last night or the night before to bring it to 3-2. Anthony Edwards has been the big star of this team in their playoff run so far. Karl Anthony Towns has had a lot of down nights, and D'Lo's been he's been kind of doing his thing, but Anthony Edwards has just been leading this team. And that's why I have a 10.
That's respectable. So I'm going to knock out my honorable mentions real quick.
Yeah,
I'm going to get flack for these guys not making my list. Devin Booker would have made my list, but he's hurt.
Same.
Luka has played 2 games.
Yep, same as Devin Booker.
DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah,
really bad game 2 and lost in 5. I can't justify that.
Yeah.
Ja, Anthony Edwards, and Kat all were all 4 of those 3 and my guy who I did put at 10 were right there for it. This guy I think is just a little bit higher based on.
Who'd you end up putting at 10?
Huh?
Who'd you end up putting at 10?
My number 10 is Jalen Brunson.
Wow, Jalen Brunson at 10? I have higher.
Yeah. Jalen Brunson is at my 10 spot. When the news broke that Luka was hurt, most people were like, "Oh, Mavericks aren't going to be able to do anything in this series."
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson had a 41-point game.
Dude.
And carried that team to a 2-1 lead, and then Luka came back.
That man, Jalen Brunson, he plays like a freaking running back. He literally plays like a running back. He drives in the paint. He is so elusive, and he is deadly in that floater range shoot. He doesn't miss. It is insane how good he's taken off.
Yeah, Jalen Brunson, he's gonna get a bag from somebody.
Yeah, he's gonna get a bag.
I really hope it's Dallas. I like that backcourt of Luka and Jalen.
Yeah, I really like what they're doing so far too. But yeah, 10 is pretty low. I have him higher, but look at there.
Number 9. My number 9 is Jokic.
Jokic, okay.
So I wrote my notes down for Jokic. I wrote my 7 through 10 spot was bounced around so much. And I find my notes for what I had for Jokic. So he's averaging 31.3 this series, 5.3 assists, 11.8 rebounds, 1.8 steals, 4.5 turnovers, 0.8 blocks. Okay,
Airy mode.
he's playing like Jokic.
Yeah.
2 and 3 options are both hurt. So that's what bumped him into the top 10, was that his second and third option are both hurt. But he is only at number 9 because they went down 3-0. He got ejected from game 2. And the Nuggets just couldn't recover. So as the leader of that team, you can't be getting ejected. You keep it cool. And he's more than likely gonna be the MVP. He needs to be able to put his team on his back. And he hasn't. He didn't do that.
He had a good game 5. He had like 32. Did you already read off the stat line?
Not from game
off
5.
He was averaging. Game 5, he had like 34 and 32, 34, and like 18 rebounds. So he had like a really good game, and he got so many buckets late in the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah, no.
Game 5.
I don't blame him for not being able to.
Yeah, no. I don't think any of us
That's
really
Warriors
expected them
team.
to get past this Warriors team.
But at the end of the day, when you go down 3-0, odds are you're not coming back, unless you're the Toronto Raptors, apparently.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I feel.
Oh
like
yeah, honorable
point-
mention everybody on the Toronto Raptors because that team is win by committee, so I couldn't pick one person.
Yeah, I don't have anybody from that team either. But I feel like this point last year they already announced who the MVP was.
No, they announced the MVP right before the conference finals.
Really? Because I thought they announced it because Denver was what, a second round team last year? Because I think they announced that Jokic was the MVP while they were still in the playoffs. And I remember Jokic going out and playing games after he won the MVP.
Yeah, they might have been a second round team.
Either way, but it was hard to value or rank these players for the teams who were already eliminated. And like it's hard to know how to value winning when we're trying to do an MVP race type thing.
Yeah. Who do you got at 9?
9, I have Mikal Bridges.
He didn't make my list.
You didn't make your list? I have him there because Devin Booker got hurt. They lost a couple games to that Pelicans team. But Mikal Bridges is just, he's so consistent. He's averaging like 17 points. He's gotten like 36 points in game 5, I think. He had a lot of points in game 5.
He had a big game.
He had like a couple 4 or 5 block games too. And he's played every single game. He only missed he played every minute, but like 2 minutes in game 5. And he has been just carrying that team on defense and in times offense with Devin Booker being out. And Chris Paul had that bad game too. He put the team on his back still.
100%.
So I have him at 9.
Speaking of Chris Paul, I have him at 8.
I don't have him on my list.
Despite the bad game, despite him being absolutely clamped by Jose Alvarado at times.
I love that highlight. That was hilarious.
He's averaging just short of 20, with 12 assists, 3.8 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1.3 turnovers. But outside of Mikal, he's been carrying that offensive load for the Suns when their main shot creator is currently hurt. You know, he won game 5. He won game 5 for them. Or was it game 4? It was one of them. He won a game for them. 100%. And he showed time and time again that he's a playoff player.
Oh yeah, 100%. He's one of the most clutch players in the league. He has been for a long time. He's always leading the league with clutch statistics. It was
Plus the Suns are the overwhelming favorites with like going in.
You're probably thinking he won game 3 by himself because he had 28 and 14 on 10 for 18.
Yep, that's what it was.
Yeah. It hurts to have him. He probably would have been in my honorable mentions list. I didn't come up with any honorable mentions, but yeah, he's a good, definitely hard player. To not have up there.
Who's your 8?
My 8 is where I have John Morant.
Okay.
He's averaging, I think it was 22, 11 assists and 8 rebounds, just shy of a triple double in the series. He had that huge game in Game 5. Yeah, Game 5, where he had the layup to win the game, and he also had that poster dunk that's just everybody wants to have that on their wall. It's just an insane poster. He is like the Grizzlies are a team that is win by committee, just like the Toronto Raptors, but he is still the leader of that team, and he is going to be the leader for a very long time. Yeah, I have him at 8. He's playing really well this series.
All right, what about your 7?
What about my 7 is where I have Brandon Ingram.
Okay. Not quite as high as I have him.
I had him a little bit higher. He was the hardest player for me to put in this list. I didn't know where to put him. So I put him at 7. He won a couple of games against that Suns team when we all thought that was going to be a sweep.
Yeah.
He is just a scoring monster. He does everything, dude. Brandon Ingram is slowly becoming one of my favorite players in the league. And I expected that to be a sweep, but he put that team on his back, and he's winning them some games against this.
It's been a pretty fun series to watch, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you have a 7? I mean,
I have Jordan Poole.
I don't have Jordan Poole on my list.
I have Jordan Poole. Dude's been a monster throughout this series. Big scoring nights almost every night. This series, really this season. The fact that he wasn't top 3 in most improved is a travesty. But I digress. Dude's been a monster all year, and he's just continued it scoring-wise in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's just Jordan Poole is just so perfect on that team because
He's starting over Curry.
He's starting over Curry.
Now, granted, it's because Curry's rehabbing an injury, but he's starting over Curry.
But still, that's not a sentence you will hear very often.
Not at all.
He is starting over Curry. No. But Jordan Poole is that dude.
Speaking of which, number 6 for me is Curry.
Yeah, I have him a little bit higher. Go on.
Coming off the bench and just being an absolute monster. That lineup is so scary. But Curry and Poole specifically, like,
he's still averaging 28 points per game on 50-40. Just Curry things. He won them that game late in Game 5 against Denver.
Greatest 6 man of all time.
Hold on, my computer just gave me a weird. Low system resources may affect your audio quality.
Yeah, you just lagged a little bit too. At least on my side.
Are we good now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
What number was that?
Curry was my 6.
6? Okay. My 6 is where I have Jokic.
Okay.
We already talked about him earlier. He is the second leading scorer in the playoffs. And he just does Jokic things, proving why he should be the MVP again. We already talked about him earlier. I'm not going to go on anymore.
Fair enough.
Who do you have at 5?
Who do you have at 5?
I have Giannis at 5.
Not as high as I have him.
I think once you hear, okay, there's maybe one controversial pick above Giannis, but everyone else I think makes sense. But Giannis, everybody knows how good Giannis is.
He's Giannis.
Yeah, everybody knows. He beat the Bulls the other night. He does literally whatever he wants.
If he's downhill, you're not stopping him.
Especially against the Bulls. He just babies that team and does whatever he wants.
Massively.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting second round series against Milwaukee and Boston.
Yeah.
I imagine it's going to be very stressful for you as a Boston fan.
Might cry. Um, my number 5 is Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown. I don't have him on my list. That makes sense.
This was more for the defensive side than anything. He didn't put up a whole lot of massive scoring nights. He just was Jaylen Brown. But his defensive efforts against that Brooklyn Nets team were massive. So, like,
Yeah.
I mean, the entire team's defense was massive. Marcus Smart, I had a giant list of players. Marcus Smart's on this list, and I was gonna put it. I was honestly considering it, but I couldn't justify having 3 Boston Celtics and not looking like Homer.
That's way too much.
But yeah, Jaylen Brown being that second option in Boston and just absolutely killed it the whole series, defensively and offensively. And with how dominant that Celtics team was, he deserved a top 5 spot.
Yeah, that makes sense. That whole team just shut them down. And Jaylen Brown is one of the leading factors on that defense. It makes sense for him to be up there. None of us thought this was going to be a sweep. That was the most.
This was the series that everybody looked the most forward to, and it was a sweep.
Yeah.
You know how satisfying that is for me?
I say it's satisfying for you and you Boston fans only. It is such a
As a
disappointment.
basketball fan, I'm sad it didn't go 7. As a Boston fan, Celtics in 4. Speaking of number 4, this is where I had Brandon Ingram.
Okay, I think that's where I originally had him.
He's been with Zion hurt. Ingram has been the leading scorer on that team by far. He's become that guy. Probably one of the. Excuse me. I'd argue he's a top 5 scorer in the league right now.
Like skill wise.
Yeah.
I could understand that. He is so fun to watch. He's been getting the KD comparisons all his career.
And they're showing. Except Brandon Ingram didn't get swept.
No, he was able to take 2 games. But Brandon Ingram is just so fun to watch play. He is just one of those guys who also just does whatever he wants, and most of the time he gets away with it.
Yeah, he's been huge for that Pelicans team by far.
Definitely.
What about you? Who you got at 4?
At number 4, that's where I have Steph Curry.
Okay. This is where we're gonna start getting into the line of like, oh, you have this guy here, I have him here. Well, we already talked about this guy, so.
Yeah. I have Steph Curry at 4. We already talked about him earlier. That whole Warriors team was really good against Denver. They work so well as a team. I would argue, like, with everybody healthy. No, I'm not gonna make that argument. I was gonna say that they work better as a team as pre-KD championship era, but it's
arguable. It is.
You think it's close? They got so many players on that team with the young guys and the vets, and it's just they all mesh so well.
Oh yeah.
And that the death lineup is so scary to play against.
I think the 73-9 team worked so well because of them as a team working together. I think the KD team were successful because they were just overpowered.
Yeah, that 70 whatever and 19, they were so versatile, and that's why they were able to do so good. And that's the same thing with this current Warriors team. They're able to run Draymond at the 5, and they're fine. It's fine. They can run a 6'6" dude at center and be fine. Like, they're so versatile.
They are small ball basketball.
Yeah. And they're successful with it.
Yeah. All right, who you got?
Who do I have at 3? Now, this is a very big reach. I have Jalen Brunson at 3.
Ooh, good lord.
Yeah. We already talked about he's
so
impressive.
He has been like 3.
So impressive to me.
Do you have it?
There's only 2 people left on my list.
Yeah, I mean that. Well, my number 3 is Jimmy Butler.
Number 2 is Jimmy. Okay.
Leader of the Miami Heat. Shut down Trae Young. Shut down the Hawks in general, even if he wasn't the one guarding Trae Young. He put up 45 in game. He put up 45.
He put up 30. I'm pretty sure every game except one of them, 1 or 2.
He shot like 8 for 8 or something from 3 in game 2.
That crazy 40-point game, he was 4 for 7 from 3.
That's what it was. My memory is really bad with stats. But like, dude went crazy that game, and he sat out game 5 or game 6. No, it was 5. Game 5, he sat out, and they still won, which is why he wasn't my number 2. But yeah, monster.
He's a playoff performer. He's shown that over the last couple of years that he is a dude who comes up and shows up in the playoffs.
100%.
Who was that? Your number 3?
Butler was my number 3. Yes.
Butler is your number 3. So we're at number 2 now. Number 2 is where I have Jimmy Buckets.
Okay.
That's where I have Jimmy Buckets at.
So I have Giannis at 2.
To be honest, at 2. I think we both have the same number 1.
Yeah, we do. It's Jason Tatum.
I think we have to give it to Jason Tatum.
It's Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
The best player on the best team in the East.
The best player on the only team that was able to sweep their way through the first round.
And it wasn't the Jason Tatum that we're used to seeing, where it's just like kind of decent on
7
defense.
assists.
He averaged 7
assists. He doesn't do that.
Not only that, dude was locked in defensively.
Yeah.
Mans was giving KD problems. Mans was giving Kevin Durant, the greatest scorer of our generation, problems to the point where KD averaged like 7 points when guarded by Tatum.
He is still like that Boston team is so good without Jason Tatum, but he is still the heart and soul of that team because in game 4, when he got fouled out, they couldn't do anything offensively. They couldn't do anything.
And they still won.
Jason, he is 100% the MVP. If he keeps playing like this and this Boston team keeps playing like this, dude, that round 2 is going. That is honestly the most.
If Boston
going to be the most intense.
This is not biased whatsoever. If Boston stays at the level that they're at, and Milwaukee doesn't bring back Chris Middleton from his injury, Celtics in 6.
Yeah. I think last episode I made my finals prediction as Golden State, Miami. I think after seeing the conclusion of the series, I'm going Golden State, Boston.
I think I told you Boston was the team to take out the East. I do think that
first round was so scary looking into it, but they blew them out the water in a way nobody expected it to happen.
Not at all. It was dominance on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Right now, if I'm locking based on round 1, my championship looks like it's hard because if Booker comes back for Phoenix, I think it's the Suns.
Yeah.
But right now, the Suns don't even look like the Suns look like they're struggling against the Pelicans.
Yeah. I think honestly, this might be a hot take. I think the Pelicans are going to be a harder matchup for them than either Dallas or Utah.
Maybe that might be a fair take.
Yeah, because if you just put Mikal Bridges on Luka, CP3 on Jalen Brunson, they don't have to guard anybody else.
Dinwiddie's been good.
I mean, if Devin Booker comes back, Devin Booker's a good defender. He's proven that this year. He's definitely stepped up on the defensive game, but still, it's hard to rank the Suns because they're
not at full strength.
Yeah, they're not at full strength.
Need Booker back. Please bring back Booker.
Yeah. We're only 28 minutes in. Let's see what games we got tonight. We got Toronto, Philly, game 6. Who do you think takes this?
It's game 6, so they're in Toronto, correct?
Yes.
Which means the Sixers won't have Matisse Thybulle.
Okay.
I think Raptors take game 6. Shout out Scotty Barnes, Rookie of the Year. Neither of us.
Neither of us. Huh?
You didn't have Scotty, did you?
No, he was my number 3. I think we both had Cade winning.
Yeah. And I think Cade ended up coming in third.
That was a shock to me to see Scotty win Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, he deserves it. Like, I'm not gonna say he doesn't deserve it because there was like throughout the whole season we were all arguing that there's only 3 real winners: Evan Mobley, Cade, and Scotty Barnes. And if it's not either of those 3, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, shout out to him for winning Rookie of the Year. If they take Game 6 and go into Game 7, it'll be so wild that we all thought this Phillies series was going to be a sweep, and Brooklyn, Boston was going to go 7, but it's just the other way around now. We also have Phoenix Pelicans Game 6 tonight. So
I think Phoenix closes it tonight.
Yeah, I don't think the series goes 7.
No.
And then we also have Dallas Utah Game 6 tonight.
And
I hope
Dallas is
Dallas.
up
I just
3-1.
hope Dallas. No, 3-2.
3-2.
Yeah, because Game 6. I
think all 3 series get closed out tonight.
I hope Dallas closes out just because I'm so sick of seeing this Utah team together. I just want them to break it up. I just hate saying that.
I was watching. What was I watching? I don't remember. It might have been a TikTok or something. How would you feel about Rudy Gobert to the Hornets?
That's been a trade circulating around quite a while. If he were to go to the Hornets, I'm trying to speculate what that would do for the team. And that
It would
East is
give them
tough
their
right
center.
now.
It would give Charlotte the center they've been needing for like years.
It would give Charlotte their center. But is LaMelo going to pass to him? His current teammates don't pass to him. Or who's to say they're going to pass to him?
Mm-hmm. Who's to say anybody will?
I honestly don't know if it improves their team success that much.
Yeah. If I'm a general manager, I don't want Rudy Gobert on my team.
No, he's kind of similar situation as CJ McCollum was on the Trailblazers. He's a negative asset.
Yeah.
Um,
And now I was watching a KOT4Q video. Rudy Gobert to the Hawks.
Clint Capella 2.0.
I don't know what that trade looks like, but
it's hard to say because with all the slack Rudy Gobert gets, he's still such a monster. But I really don't know what he does for any team. I don't know what team he would actually benefit enough to make it worth trading for.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
He's so hard to place. It's just I don't know what to do with him. I don't know what to do with him.
He'll be in Utah they'll trade Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert will stay.
I honestly think that would be easier because at least people want Dono. People want him.
I think he goes to the Knicks for a massive haul.
Yeah, I can see that too. Oh god, my neighbors are playing music.
I feel like if they trade Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks, you have to give up RJ Barrett.
I don't do that if I'm the Knicks. I don't do that.
What other assets do the Knicks have?
They would have to give up like Emmanuel Quickly, Julius Randle to make the contract work, and I don't know if Utah takes that. And it's like a buttload of picks.
A bunch of picks?
Yeah. I don't know if Utah would take that unless they're just trying to like, all right, you know what, we just need to hard reset and just work from the ground up again.
Yeah. Where else?
I wouldn't be surprised if they go that route either, honestly. I mean, the Houston Rockets did it.
I haven't heard Donovan Mitchell tied to any other teams.
No. Oh, Russell Westbrook tweeted everything Lakers related.
Not surprised. He'll be gone.
Yeah.
He'll take the player option and then demand a trade.
Yeah, but he's in the same boat as Rudy Gobert. Just he makes like $50 million.
He'll probably get swapped for John Wall again.
Dude, I hope that doesn't happen. Dude, that would be so crazy if they get traded for each other twice.
Yep, and Russell will end up back in Houston, and Houston will buy him out. And he'll probably sign somewhere for like 13 mil.
Houston would buy out Russell Westbrook's $50 million, but they won't buy out John Wall's $40 million.
John Wall's contract is longer. So in reality, they'd have to buy out
does he still have like one extra year?
yeah.
Oh,
So they'd have to buy out like 80 mil.
yeah, I can see that. Friday, let's do a couple more playoff predictions for the next slate of games while we're here. We've got a couple minutes. Grizzlies Timberwolves Game 6 in Minnesota.
I think this series goes 7.
I hope this goes 7, and it's a nail biter as a Grizzlies fan. It's a nail biter.
I think this series is the most likely to be a lower seed upset.
I hate to agree with you. I really hate to agree with you.
But the honest realization doesn't matter who wins this series because neither of these teams are beating the Warriors.
I still think a Memphis Golden State series would be really fun just because the playoff match last year. They match up really well to Golden State, and if Jaren Jackson's on his game and he's like, I don't think he's been playing really well that series. Or he hasn't been given
He
a
was
lot
only
of
on the
minutes.
floor for
He played
17
yeah,
minutes last night.
that's the thing. He didn't really play for some reason.
Because he fouled out.
Oh, he fouled out?
He fouled out in 17 minutes.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's
He can't keep his hands to himself.
if Jaren Jackson can stay in the game and if their whole team is healthy, I think the Golden State Memphis series is gonna be a good series. That's actually the last slate of games before we get to the Game 7 games. So I think we're good. I think we close out.
Yeah. I don't have anything else.
Right.
Bit of
We
a
will
shorter
be back.
episode this week.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll be back next week. Maybe the first round should be done next time we record because if Game 7s are necessary, those will all be on Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday's Boston Bucks Game 1 this Sunday.
So we'll at least have that to talk about.
Yeah. So we'll be back talking about round 2 next week.
Yep. All right. Later.
All right. See you.